Fanatics won't learn. That's the focus of tonight's angle. All right, it's a Friday before Thanksgiving, so it's 2024. So, of course, we're looking forward to 2028. All right, now bear with me. It's clear to us that a growing number of never-Trumpers, the anti-Trump media, neoliberals, are trying to convince themselves, and you, that Trump's victory it wasn't as significant as conservatives would have you believe.
If you look at the raw vote from 2020, he's still off of what Biden got by a good long ways. And
Donald Trump won the presidency with 49% of the vote, 48% of the vote. We lost with 47% of the vote.
Did he win an election? Yes. Did he win a mandate? I don't believe so. It was a
The New York Times pinged out the same message today in a column by Peter Baker titled "The Landslide That Wasn't." Baker pointed out that Trump won with one of the smallest margins of victory in the popular vote since the 19th century, and that Trump world is selling the illusion of a landslide in order to ram through Trump's agenda. Well, first, what incoming president doesn't use his victory as a reason to enact his policies? Isn't that the entire point of running and winning? Second, and the press knows this, it's not just the number of votes that Trump received, which is impressive. It's where he got them, from whom, and what he had to overcome to get them.
He's expanded demographically the Republican coalition, the coalition that elected Trump in this election. It is younger, it's more blue collar, and it's more diverse than any Republican coalition really in modern political history.
Yeah, modern political history. And as independent journalist Glenn Greenwald noted on X, Trump won a higher percentage of votes in New York City than any Republican candidate since George Herbert Walker Bush in 1988, 36 years ago. Now, that is huge. It turns out issues actually mattered to these Trump voters. And we all know the problems that New York is facing because of Democrat policies.
You take a look at outside the battleground where Trump made some of his biggest gains. They were in states like New Jersey and New York and California, big blue states. He didn't win any of them, but he made big gains because of this kind of a shift.
Democrats can continue with their fantasy thinking, minimizing the shift toward the GOP among Latinos and African Americans, among even young people and urban voters. But Democrats are just hurting their own party. And we can never forget that Trump did all of this while being outspent 3 or 4 to 1, and while he was being pummeled by venal, agenda-driven journalists with the most defamatory slurs that were then amplified by other leftists who are rarely right, but never in doubt. And perhaps most impressive was Trump's victory despite being relentlessly hounded by political hatchet men and women in our legal system. More on the big news from Judge Merchan later in the show. But again, the key here is why they're trying to ride the idea that, well, they didn't lose by that much. Because that narrative suggests the Democrats really don't believe they need to make big changes to their approach. Certainly not to the issues that people care about most. Why should they? The victory wasn't that big for the Republicans. If they only lost because Biden dropped out late, or because Trump's appeal is sui generis, or because Harris wasn't a good communicator, then what they face as a party is really, if that's their thinking, just a personality or maybe a comms problem. Well, the problem, of course, with that is they were wrong on substance, wrong on the economy, wrong on war, wrong on the culture, and wrong on the border. And the results for innocent Americans have been heartbreaking. Do you think that Laken Riley's mother thinks Democrats just have a comms problem given what happened to her daughter? This is how a mother reacts when she learns that something horrible has happened to her beautiful daughter.
Okay, let's step up here. Come on, let's go. Come on out of the road. Come out of the road. We had this happen. It's not good. I don't want to tell you yes or no because I don't have names. I don't know who anybody is. I do know that this is a pretty serious sensitive.
This is one of the main reasons Trump won. He felt their pain. He felt their rage. Riley was murdered by an illegal alien, Jose Ibarra, and the incoming border czar, he knows the anguish as well because he's seen this play out too many times, courtesy of politicians who don't give a damn.
I've seen so much tragedy. I've talked to hundreds of angels and moms and dads who buried their children because they were killed by illegal alien. This is the latest. You know, I've talked to little girls as young as 9 years old that were raped multiple times by members of cartel. When you look in her eyes and everything innocent and pure has been ripped from her soul, and her life will never be the same. I mean, it's just, I'm tired of it.
Now, Democrats can't respond to this story or any others like it because they've become so accustomed to standing up for the rights of the illegals.
Jocelyn Nungari, Rachel Morin, Laken Riley, they are young women who were brutally assaulted and killed by some of the men who were released at the beginning of the administration. This is a specific policy decision by your administration to release these men into the country. So what I'm saying to you, do you owe
Brett,
those families an apology?
Let me just say, first of all, those are tragic cases. But let's talk about what is happening right now with an individual who does not want to participate in solutions. Let's talk about that as well.
Those are tragic cases, but there is no but. And there's no apology forthcoming now, not from her and not from the Democrat Party. Their so-called post-November 5th autopsy should include a close examination of the autopsy reports of the Americans savagely murdered by illegals. But instead, their sanctuary leaders will proudly protect the migrants.
That's not going to happen on my watch. We will not be participating in misguided efforts that harm our communities.
We're not going to ask our police force to serve as ICE agents. We're not cooperating with that madness.
The city of Los Angeles will not participate in any collaboration with ICE.
And Boston's Mayor Michelle Wu is among the worst.
We do not need the federal government's help in stepping in to cause mass fear. We have laws on the books that ensure that we do not cooperate on civil immigration detainers.
Safer? Now, these rapist migrants terrorized children. As you heard Holman say, destroyed their innocence, ripped it from them. Look at them, Mayor Wu. Read the police reports. Read the charging documents. For Open Borders Democrats, this isn't about safety. It's not about safety of the migrants. The migrants are being brutalized too. It's not about the safety of the American people. It's about politics and their own fanaticism. And even child rape, even a nursing student out for a run getting her head bashed in, it doesn't matter. Even migrant gangs terrorizing formerly quiet neighborhoods, none of it matters. Trump's approval rating is already at an all-time high of 54%. And it's only going to go higher if Democrats refuse to learn the real lessons of 2024. Their policies were destroying America's economy, our sovereignty, and our peace of mind. But if Democrats won't learn the obvious, they're not only stupid, well, they're giving great news to the Republican Party in 2026 and for J.D. Vance in 2028. And that's The Angle.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.